Let me know when you're done reviewing.
Well, I see on the first page where it says taint attorney, and I'm trying to go through and I see where it continues says taint attorney, but it always says Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Your question was specific as to the anti-corruption unit, and I'm looking for the verbiage of anti-corruption unit, so I apologize.
Oh, no, take your time.
And see, on both pages, I mean, it starts out Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and then it just goes to initials FCDA, unless I'm overlooking where it says the anti-corruption unit, then the contract was FCDA. I mean, unless you want to show me something.
I'm just asking you, and I didn't know if that would refresh your memory. Those contracts were for the anti-corruption unit, right?
Well, they were for the district. I worked for the DA.
Okay.
I worked for the DA.
Okay, so just in general, the DA.
Correct. I worked for Fulton County District Attorney's Office in as a contract person, as it says here.
And when you did the taint work, you had to report to Sonia Allen?
I did not.
You did not. Who did you report to then?
I can't remember his name. His first name was Brian.
Okay. And let's see. So I know you said you met with Ms. Willis when you signed those contracts, right?
Yes, I know I met at least one time to sign these contracts, or to sign when I signed the contracts, yes.
Did you meet with her any other times?
I did not personally meet with Ms. Willis any other time. When you say meet with, what do you mean meet with?
Talk with her, meet with her.
I mean, I would see Ms. Willis in passing if I'm walking through the office and something like that. But no, I didn't have any meetings with Ms. Willis.
Okay, so the only times you met with her were when you signed those contracts.
Clarify meet with. I mean, I
sat down and had a conversation with her.
I signed these contracts. So when I signed these, I met with her. To say that I sat down and spoke with Ms. Willis, are you saying in life? And you saying during this time? What are you asking me?
I mean, if it's voluminous, I can narrow down the times, but I wasn't.
Ms. Merchant, I haven't really heard a point in a while. Can we get along to something,
yes,
or we're gonna have to wrap it up?
So I had one more question about your text. Have you ever been in any group text with anybody other than, with me and somebody other than Mr. Chopra and Mr. Merchant?
You're gonna have to narrow that down. I'm sure you sent many texts.
I can look at my phone.
So with him, if there have been any other texts. And I think that the state had some thing in rebuttal they mentioned. So I was just trying to clean that up before it got there.
You try the question one more time.
Yeah. Isn't it true that the only texts that you and I have ever had have been between me, you and Mr. Chopra, or me, you and John Merchant, correct?
Can I look at my phone?
Sure.
And what's the relevance of that, Ms. Merchant?
They've said multiple times that there's this third party that we've talked to, and I'm trying to establish there's no third party. And I don't know why it was relevant, but the state's argued it. So,
well, if Ms. Merchant doesn't know why it's relevant, then maybe it might become relevant later. But right now,
Ms. Merchant, I think you've been able to show what maybe launched this and answer the state's initial claims. And so let's get back to the core of what we were here for this hearing. Do you have anything else relevant to ask this witness?
Yes, just a few more questions. After it became known that you were placed under subpoena, did you get a call from Gabe Banks?
I did.
And was he trying to determine if you were going to be giving information in this case?
I don't know what he was trying to determine. He stated that it was an odd I had not spoken to Gabe in a while. We are colleagues, we are friends, we are in the same fraternity, Gabe and I. And when he called, it was out of the blue, but he did call. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you relayed that to me as well, correct?
I did.
And then you also got a call from your best friend who was relaying a message to you from Mr. Wade, correct?
No, I got a call saying that he got a call, not that a message that was supposed to be relayed to me. The call was,
I'm going to check if there's a hearsay, the response to public hearsay. Thus far, it hasn't.
Sure. So hearsay objection as to the contents of the call, Ms. Merchant.
I believe the contents of the call were to remember your privilege. I took that as a threat. I think Mr. Bradley took it as a threat, and I think he would testify to that.
And
Hasn't testified to it. And he also said there wasn't any message relayed by Mr. Wade or any party.
well, no, he didn't say it was by any
Right,
party.
Mr. Wade.
So assuming he did hear something from a party, what's the hearsay exception for that, Ms. Merchant?
I believe that it was a threat, so it's a statement against interest. I'm sorry, it's a if he took it as a threat to influence his testimony, then it's not hearsay, then it would be admissible.
All right. So
I did not take it as a threat.
if you're saying it's to the effect on the listener, perhaps,
Yes.
then we'll go from there.
Were you told to remember your privilege?
Then the witness just testified he didn't take it as a threat.
Understood. I'll overrule the objection. The testimony given the weight it deserves.
Can you repeat the question?
Were you told to remember your privilege?
I was not.
The witness, there may be a potential witness now in the courtroom, is the person that Ms. Merchant is referring to is sitting in the courtroom.
Well, if that witness hasn't been told to testify, then I don't see any sequestration issues.
I don't know who it is. I don't know his name.
Okay. And so were you told anything to that effect, Mr. Bradley?
Repeat the question one more time. But so I was not told, remember my privilege.
Something about privilege, remembering that.
I do recall privilege being mentioned, but it wasn't remember your privilege or, a threat of any sort.
But you immediately called me after.
No, I called someone else after.
You called me quickly thereafter then.
I talked to you that day. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sadell.
Your Honor, because this is a defense witness, is it the state's first cross? I think that's how we had been doing it yesterday.
No, actually, we're doing it just this way.
Yeah, I've been,
Okay.
this is
I
the first time
apologize.
he's gone, and then we go through all the defense, and then you'll have your chance.
Some foundation questions to begin with, please. Your testimony as you began representing Mr. Wade as his attorney on what date or what approximate date?
I didn't have an approximate date.
And give me an approximate date when you began acting as Mr. Wade's attorney.
I would say it was, if I'm speculating.
I really don't want you to speculate. I mean, you're the one that was the attorney and Mr. Wade was the client.
Correct.
So give us the ballpark figure of when it was that you began acting as his attorney.
Maybe 2017, 2018, I think, maybe.
And the purpose for which you were retained.
His divorce.
So, according to you, from that time period, your communications with Mr. Wade with regard to the divorce or any matters related to the divorce, it's your position are confidential, are privileged, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. Now, did you ever meet with Ms. Willis and Mr. Wade prior to, and everything I'm asking you is prior to November of 2021, okay?
Okay.
Keep that in mind. That's,
Why are you yelling?
I don't think he's yelling, Mr. Bradley. He's just speaking up. All right, Mr. Sadal, let's go.
okay, thank you. Prior to Mr. Wade getting his contract with Fulton County, which was November 1st of 2021, okay? Please keep that in mind.
November 1st of 2021.
Right. Did you ever socialize with Mr. Wade and Ms. Willis prior to November 1st of 2021?
I've never socialized with Mr. Wade or Ms. Willis in any setting. If you're asking, have I ever met with them, then I would say yes. But when you say socialize, what do you mean socialize?
Have you ever gone out to eat with both of them?
Before 2021, I do not
Or
think
November 1st of 2021?
out to eat with both of them before. When was she sworn in? I'm sorry. When was she sworn in? There was a dinner before, when she was sworn in that I attended. Shaquille O'Neal was there. So it was like her inauguration dinner. So I'm thinking that's before 2021. So I would say
Let's
yes.
assume for purposes of my question that
Yes, sir.
that's in early January of 2021.
That is early January 2021. So yes, it will be before November. So if it was January, yes, that dinner would have been in, I'm assuming January.
Okay. And any other time that you socialized, went out to eat, went to anyone's home, you know what socialized is?
Exactly. So no, I did not socialize with Mr. Willis. With Miss Willis and Mr. Wade.
So prior to November 1st of 2021, did Miss Willis come to your offices? Your offices, the offices that you shared with Mr. Wade.
I think she came once or twice to our office, correct?
And the purpose for which she came?
I don't know. We had separate offices. I do recall. I do recall some type of meeting happening at our office, and I don't know what that was about. I wasn't a part of those meetings. There was a meeting. There were other people there. There were other people from I want to say DA's office there, maybe.
Okay, let's go back to the basics. Ms. Willis came to your offices, together offices, on a couple different occasions.
I recall Ms. Willis coming to my office at least twice.
And on at least one of those occasions, or you tell us, did Ms. Willis meet privately with Mr. Wade in his office that you observed or heard?
I can't recall.
You can't recall.
No.
Did she ever meet with you in your office? Ms. Willis now.
Privately in my office? No. I've never met privately in any office with her outside of signing this contract.
Did Mr. Wade, prior to November 1st of 2021, ever talk to you about socializing with Ms. Willis?
I can't recall.
You can't recall?
You're asking me if he ever mentioned to me that he socialized
with Ms. Willis, correct?
And I'm saying I cannot recall if he socialized with Ms. Willis, if he ever mentioned to me that he socialized.
Did he ever mention to you that he ate or went out to dinner with Ms. Willis? Again, time period before November 1st of 2021.
Did he, repeat your question?
Mr. Wade ever tell you prior to November 1st of 2021 that he had socialized, gone out to eat, visited Miss Willis in anything other than a professional setting?
I'm sure he did, maybe. I don't recall any specifics of any dinners, any specific places. It's been 3 years ago, the time frame, but I do not recall at this time whether or not he ever mentioned any dinners or socializing.
Did Mr. Wade mention to you that he visited Mrs. then current abode, which would have been a place, not her original house, but a place she was staying in the period of 2021 before November 1 of 2021? And his question is, did Mr. Wade ever tell you that he visited Miss Willis at her house?
I don't think I can answer that.
Yeah, the privilege based on communicating with my client.
All right. Mr. State Attorney, want to try and rephrase the question you can, but otherwise that would be sustained.
On both grounds or just on the privilege ground?
Just, I didn't hear a second ground.
It was a hearsay ground.
Oh, that would be on privilege alone.
Did you talk to Mr. Wade at all about his relationship with Miss Willis prior to November 1st of 2021?
I think he's just laying a record, Mr. Wade. It's okay. And so on those same grounds, Mr. State Allen, all subsequent grounds, apparently the relationship with Miss Willis in any way is covered by privilege according to this witness.
Well, I think the key words, respectfully, Your Honor, are according to this witness. So I'm trying to drill down to see if there are communications that are not within the privilege.
Sure.
I can.
So then we need to acknowledge the privilege in the form of your question, right?
You're asking me to ask it as in a way saying, are there any non-privileged?
Essentially.
Okay. Did you ever communicate with Mr. Wade prior to November 1st of 2021 about Miss Willis that was not privileged?
We discussed this contract, but
This contract doesn't help. You have to give me a exhibit number, please.
you said before November 2021?
Yeah, November 1st of 2021.
Before November, this contract for 1/25/21 is before that. So, we discussed this contract.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, again, just give me that exhibit number so we can reference.
Exhibit 23.
Okay, hold on one second. 1 second. On exhibit 23, did I understand you to say that it was Mr. Wade that effect brought you and Miss Willis together for the contract?
That would be accurate, yes.
Okay. And what did you understand was a relationship at that point between Miss Willis and Mr. Wade, for Mr. Wade to be able to bring you to Miss Willis for the contract? It's not a hard question. It's
No,
really
I'm
simple.
just, state that again.
Mr. Wade is the one that basically says to you, go see Miss Willis about this contract, right?
Mhm.
That's a yes, correct?
Yes,
So Mr.
I'm-
Wade had to have some knowledge, you would assume,
yes.
right? That you going to Miss Willis might bring you the contract.
I
right?
never went to Miss Willis. So I stated I never went to Miss Willis. I was told about that there was a potential contract, and that I was asked by Mr. Wade if I would be interested in doing that contract.
Okay, my question to you is, what was the basis that you understood Mr. Wade being able to essentially offer you that contract on Miss Willis's behalf?
I'm going to object to that. That's a mischaracterization. Mr. Wade offered it to him. I think he said he expressed interest. And also, I don't see the relevance of this at all.
So just in terms of relevance or phrasing, I'll overrule on those grounds. So the question is standing unobjected to, Mr. Bradley.
Can you repeat the question?
You've explained to us how the contract
Yes.
came to you, correct?
Yes.
And my question is, what was your understanding of the relationship of Mr. Wade and Miss Willis for it to have been offered, or whatever word you want to use, for him to have said, expressed to you whether you had an interest in the contract?
Privilege.
All right, Mr. Evans is no privilege on that question. So Mr. Sanow, I think you need to clarify whether,
Was it a privileged conversation that you had with Mr. Wade that let you know about the contract?
or, you know, it was the relationship was the question you're focused on.
Is the nature, I'm trying to do it in such a way, and I understand what the court said. Was the relationship that I asked you about just now between Mr. Wade and Ms. Willis that gave rise to the contract? Did you know about that relationship as a result of an attorney-client communication?
No, I knew of that through whatever work they did together as municipal court judges. That's
And how did you know that? Who told you about the work that they did together as municipal court judges?
Mr. Wade told me that they did work at some conference.
Okay, now, this would have been something that Mr. Wade said, according to your time period, at the time that you were representing Mr. Wade, correct?
Say that again? Ask that again?
Mr. Wade would have told you what you just told the court after you had established an attorney-client relationship with Mr. Wade, correct?
Yes, but when he told me of them being at a conference, I mean, I'm not understanding how relate. I'm trying to understand your question.
Well, my question is basically, you had communications with Mr. Wade directly that
Yes.
were not attorney-client privilege, right?
I've had conversations with Mr. Wade that were not attorney-client privileged, yes.
That involved Miss Willis, correct?
I just stated that they were at a conference. I don't know whether or not that involved her or not.
Well, if he's talking about her, that is, if Mr. Wade is telling you about Miss Willis and Mr. Wade having met at a conference, right? Then he's talking about Miss Willis, correct?
Yes, but he also told me about other people that he met at the conference.
But he told you about Miss Willis as well, correct?
I think so, yes.
So there were communications in which Miss Willis was at least a topic that was not covered by attorney-client privilege, correct?
This particular instance, I was told about a conference. And
when were you told this?
I can't remember the dates of the conference, but it would have been after the conference.
Okay, I'm trying to get just the time period here. After the conference, I want you to understand from the record, I believe we've shown that the conference was sometime in October of 2019.
Okay.
So could you give us an idea, that being a fact, when you would have had this communication about meeting with Miss Willis at the conference, that is, Mr. Wade meeting Miss Willis at the conference?
If that's the conference that they were at, yes, then, I don't know how many municipal court conferences there are. I do know that at the time that I was in the firm, Mr. Wade was, he had some position with the municipal court.
Yeah, right now, my only question is time-wise, assuming it's October of 2019, when do you tend to remember? What's your best recollection of when Mr. Wade told you about?
I can't remember because I
I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
No, I should express that in yesterday.
Oh.
Oh, really?
So we'll figure it out, Leslie, because we make it work. Mozzie, can I put this back here because I'm not gonna, I don't want to hold it during my head. Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to? Just make her look fantastic. I didn't like balance. Oh, yeah.
We're fine. We need time. Mike's first.
Now I can change the filter too. Let's see what we have here. So that's okay. So we just doing what we did.
I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
No, I should like four steps in your step. More like what's the really this? Is this good?
Oh.
Same problem. You got four.
Yeah.
Pretty good about things. Yeah, then we ended up. We talked to the tree. We talked to tree. You know the gig you're doing, that's the gig that I used to do for many years. Oh, really? Yeah.
So we'll figure it out, Leslie, because we make it work.
I think it was great. I was doing it. Sorry, I didn't remember.
Mozzie, can I put this back here because I'm not gonna, I don't want to hold it during my head.
Yes. No, you know.
Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to? Just make her look fantastic. I didn't like balance. Oh, yeah.
We're fine. We need time. Mike's first.
Now I can change the filter too. Let's see what we have here. So that's okay. So we just doing what we did.
I I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
No, pushing like 4 steps in yes there. More like what's what is this? Is this good?
Oh.
Same problem. You got four. Yeah, they're pretty good about doing this. We talked to the truth. We talked to the truth. Oh, really?
So we'll figure it out, Leslie, because we make it work. Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to do?
Just make her look fantastic.
I didn't like balance. Oh, yeah.
We're fine. We need time. Mike's first.
Now I can change to shoot the two. Let's see what we have here. So that's okay. So we just doing what we did.
I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
No, pushing like 4 steps in yes there. More like what's what is this? Is this good?
Oh.
Same problem.
You got four. Yeah, they're pretty good about doing this. We talked to the truth. We talked to the truth.
You know, the gig you're doing, that's the gig that I used to do for many years.
Oh, really?
So we'll figure it out, Leslie, because we make it work.
I think it was like other doing it. Sorry, I didn't hear. Yes, no, you don't.
Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to do?
Just make her look fantastic.
I didn't like balance. Oh, yeah.
We're fine. We need time. Mike's first.
Now I can change to shoot the two. Let's see what we have here. So that's okay. just doing what we did.
I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
We should like 4 steps in the step. More like that's a little mistake. Is this good?
Oh,
We got four. Pretty good about things. We talked to the truth. We talked the truth.
You know the gig you're doing, that's the gig that I used to do for many years.
Oh, really?
so we'll figure it out, Leslie, because we make it work.
It's all right.
Put this back here because I'm not gonna. I don't want to hold it during my head.
No, you
Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to do?
Just make her look fantastic.
I didn't like balance. Oh, yeah.
We're fine. We need time. Mike's first.
Now I can change to shoot up to. Let's see what we have here. 4-7, that's okay. So we just doing what we did.
I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
We're pushing like 4 steps in the step. More like that's a little mistake. Is this good?
Oh,
We got four. Pretty good about things. We talked to the truth. We talked the truth.
You know the gig you're doing, that's the gig that I used to do for many years.
Oh, really?
so we'll figure it out, Leslie, because we make it work.
It's all right.
Leslie, can I put this back here because I'm not gonna. I don't want to hold it during my head.
No, you
Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to do?
Just make her look fantastic.
I didn't like balance. Oh, yeah.
We're fine. We need time. Mike's first.
Now I can change to shoot up to. Let's see what we have here. 4-7, that's okay.
just doing what we did.
I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
No, I should like footsteps in yesterday. More like what's the really missing? Is this good?
Oh,
Single pro- You got four. Pretty good about things.
We talked to the tree. We talked to the tree. You know the big doing that's the big that I used to do for many years.
Oh, really?
so we'll figure it out, Ozzy, because we make it work. Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to do?
Just make her look fantastic.
I need like balance. Oh, yeah.
We're fine. We need time. Legs first.
Now I can change to filter two. Let's see what we have here. So that's okay. So we just doing what we did.
I can't wait till like our shows are over. I'm like, because doing the live ones is making me anxious.
No, I should like footsteps in yesterday. More like what's the really missing? Is this good?
Oh,
Single pro- You got four. Pretty good about things.
We talked to the tree. We talked to the tree. You know the big doing that's the big that I used to do for many years.
Oh, really?
so we'll figure it out, Ozzy, because we make it work.
No, you don't.
Okay.
What should we do now? How am I going to propose it? What do you want me to do?
Just make her look fantastic.
I need like balance.